Alright fellas, here we are back in Pokemon Masters for the showcase of Palentines Marley and Shaymin. And I know it took me a little to get this video out, but it's okay, you'll be fine. This sounds so toxic. Anyway, Palentines Marley, I really like this character, honestly. Very, very solid. I do have some issues with how she's designed, but overall, I think she's a good character, definitely, and has some pretty good uses. She's got Seed Flare, damaging option, debuff special defense because of the guaranteed honor roll, and as a passive, very nice. Blessed Seed Flare, or Blessed, I guess, but Blessed. 275 power, activated whenever sync countdown is reduced by 3 while deactivated, deactivated when used, so you've got, basically 3, used every other turn for the most part. It lowers enemy special defense by 2, it's got guaranteed crits, power is not lowered if there are multiple targets, and increases all ally special moves next by 1. Very good way to build up special moves next, very good way to do damage, AoE damage especially, and also debuff special defense AoE. That's pretty good. Sinnoh Analysis, applying the special Sinnoh Circle, which is an up to 40% buff to allies for special damage and 14% damage reduction. This is good, and it's got a passive in the grid that is actually making this even better. And then a training move which applies gauge acceleration, raises all allies speed by 4 and her own evasion by 2. Pretty solid training move. I don't think it's that crazy, but it's good for the damage challenge, really good, and also quite solid for the legendary arenas. Outside of that, not that crazy. But she's got Conveying Kindness, which reduces sync countdown by 3 when she applies the Sinnoh Circle to the eye field to play the first time, and raises special attack by 4 whenever the circle's applied to the eye field to play the first time. For one, I think these should have been not just for the first time. She should be able to do this infinitely. It's not that broken. And also, I do not like special attack buffs being locked behind setting the circle because she's only got 2 uses of it. Yeah. Blossoming Talent, raising accuracy and crit by 1 when her move is successful, and charges gauge by 2 when the move is successful. So she's got good gauge management on top of the speed buffs and gauge acceleration and self-sufficiency and accuracy and crit. Very, very good. And then again on a roll 2 here for the guaranteed special defense debuffs. Pretty solid all around. Any multiplier special attack raised. Again, this kind of goes back to why I did not like her having only 4 special attack, because she doesn't have her nuke maxed out, but whatever, I guess. Okay. In the grid, she's got a lot of good abilities. This Sinnoh Circle extension is amazing. She also has a 20% sync buff to ally, 20% buff to ally sync damage when the circle's applied, on top of the up to 40% it already applies, meaning the circle can actually apply up to 60% sync damage, which is pretty damn nuts, the more Sinnoh allies you have, right? But still, that is a very solid buff. She's got sync nodes, of course, here as well. She's got Smarty Pants for another sync multiplier. Far more, it's a lot more consistently maxed out than Brain Power, but it's fine. Grand Entry 2, Furious Brain, Sharp Entry 1. A little bit of self-sufficiency here, I guess, for maxing her stuff, but she can already max crit in 3 turns, and you can bring a support for the Grand Entry. It's not that big of a deal. And Furious Brain for the special attack raises. This is a cool tile on top of also Brain Teaser for Seed Flare. My biggest issue with this character, though, is that she can't pick up pretty much anything. Well, she can pick up things, but, like, not everything she wants. She would very much appreciate the extra damage that Furious Brain and Brain Teaser can apply, but then at that point, she's going to have to sacrifice her sync damage, or she's going to have to sacrifice the support that she's giving to the team with the circle, or at least the duration of it, which neither of which you're really too keen on doing, at least I don't think so. You could sacrifice her sync nuke realistically if you don't want to use it repeatedly, which is fair because she's a support sprint sync pair, and you could then just bring out her DPS and bring out her supportive abilities. That is honestly not a bad idea. Probably is your best thing to do, just honestly. This is one grid that I ran that tried to maximize her DPS, but also gave her the sync buff to the allies with the circle. It makes pretty good use of it. She's got other abilities like extra gauge in the circle and healing in the circle as well, and also status immunity, which is a pretty big one as well in the circle, which we'll see all of that later. So let's go ahead and hop into some battles and see how Palentines Marley and Shaymin can do in some, I guess, modern content. Mostly modern content. So the first battle is a solo against her own battle challenge. I mean, we obviously know she's going to have good on-type damage, so let's just get it out of the way. In a solo, it might have been within my best interest to actually have used her trainer move twice here, like you get gridded for NPR and then did that, but it's fine. It's not really that big of a deal. That sync countdown in the circle is nice, and also the buffs it applies. I mean, it makes her tanking a little bit better. Not that she is necessarily too keen on wanting to take so many high-powered hits, especially from these high-powered enemies. Not the best thing ever, but it's fine for the most part. She dodges a lot of Hydro Pump, which I find to be pretty funny. Wow, okay. Anyway, here's the Sync Nuke, which is not maxed out. It doesn't have like Smarty Pants or anything gridded, but it is still, I mean, decent power. Also, it's the first one. She supports Sprint. I got her EX rolled and all that stuff, right? And then there's the Buddy Move again. I think her damage, her actual DPS, like the Buddy Move and Seed Flare combinations are really what you're going to be trying to focus on with her, and her supportive ability with the circle and its extension. I think those are probably what you're really wanting to focus on with this character, not so much her nuke. Her nuke is more used for that support sprint functionality, at least in my opinion. I really wish she got Sync Burst. They really should have given her Sync Burst. It would have helped out with less RNG for her trainer move and getting extra circle uses. I think that would have been a big help to her, but still, I mean, good on type damage, of course. Alright, chat, Agatha is not having a good day. Double Shaymin, of course. I mean, I wanted to do double Shaymin. Let's just do the double Shaymin here, with Sycamore to back us up with some grass rebuff. I brought him just for the grass rebuff, pretty much, and, like, the fact he can take a hit. That's pretty much all I did here for this. The sync countdown's pretty good for ramping in the stadium. I mean, -3, that's a whole turn. You're setting a circle, you're getting that much closer to your sync move. I mean, it's a super good effect, for sure. It's definitely good to have. And then we use the Buddy Move here as well. Also, again, equally quite good. We do make good usage of the crit. I believe Rosa gets the team +1 crit. That's definitely helpful. It's definitely nice for Marley to have her crit maxed out here. Could obviously like use Sycamore's Dire Hit All Plus or whatever, but I mean we didn't have to. So at least not yet, or to the point where we're kind of running out of options on moves to use. Anyway. We use Sweet Scent with Rosa to max out her multipliers, her evasion, special attack requiring ones. She's got innate of Smarty Pants, which of course we're able to get maxed out because of Marley, or at least come close to it. I could have gone for the Seed Flare and then into Rosa's Buddy Move, but really there's no point for that. Just the damage is insane. I mean, obviously, this is without grassy terrain. This is only one layer of a grass rebuff. I mean, Marley can make other characters look great, and look great herself. I mean, her damage is really consistent, really good. Again, I focused more on her damage for this grid than her sync damage. I gave, like, I think ally sync support and Furious Brain and Brain Teaser. Those were what we gave to her, and well, I mean, she makes good use of the extra damage that she can do. And obviously the ability to max out one of Rosa's multipliers, while Rosa can focus on maxing out her other multipliers, obviously good as well. I mean, they work pretty well as a duo. I think they really just need a good, like, grass arc fair level character, like maybe like a support that can apply more grass rebuff or grassy terrain or something that isn't Acerola, considering Acerola is so physical leaning. It's actually insane. You may as well be... I had a Sinnoh trainer playing in this, but I didn't get it again. Okay, anyway, it's okay. I didn't even mean to have Sinnoh trainer playing to begin with. But evasion buffs. We love evasion buffs. Yes, Marley can provide her own evasion buffs here, which is able to handle a lot of stages. It's very helpful. Marley's absolute biggest weakness, I would say, is the fact that her only method of healing and real defensive... Well, her only defensive measure is dodge, where she's got accuracy debuffs, which are good, and then obviously the evasion from her trainer move, which you can get NPR on. But other than that, her only method of healing is the circle being active, which is not great. There's a decent futile she wants. Discombobulate is pretty much almost always unconditional to pick up. I mean, you can probably live without it, but like, it helps so much. The RNG is just ass without it. But there's her grid. It really is. I think that's the worst thing about this character is her grid. Can't get extension. At least I don't think I was able to afford extension. Maybe there's just a better grid for it. I don't know. Either way, this was done without any extra energy, so I'm dealing with this, man. Might have been better to have saved this Seed Flare. No, it wouldn't have been, just because they would have gone for discharge. Probably should have set the circle though. That probably would have been a good idea, so we didn't have to take that crit and whatnot for full power. Having the damage reduction would have been just a lot more helpful there. Okay, I'm able to cue the move. I'm so good at this game, but thankfully accuracy debuffs do really just save my ass there. Again, her healing only being on the circle, man. All right, whatever. Wow. This sync crit fail. Her sync is, I believe, honestly, just less powerful than her damage, because I did opt to grid for like Brain Teaser and those type of multipliers here on Seed Flare, so that was just pretty much better for me. Otherwise, again, this is just really a dodge clear where she can't really dodge Raikou here. It's got accuracy debuffs, but it's got Swift and Thunder, so you've got to deal with those. Just hope that you can like queue up against these moves and, well, survive. Yeah, there we go. That is a good thing about her, though, is that her Seed Flare, her Buddy Seed Flare is obviously really strong, but then after that, she's able to use her regular Seed Flare, which is boosted by +1 special moves next because of her other Seed Flare. That's a pretty good effect, honestly. I would say so anyway. So that's something really just to consider. I mean, you get basically 2 stronger moves and then 1 cycle, 2 cycles basically without stronger moves. That's honestly pretty good. I mean, she got the solo though, so thank God. Again, more of a dodge solo than anything. Her gimmick checking is not crazy. She can with like stat debuffs and whatnot, but for the most part just kind of dodge. But still, I mean, it works against Raikou, and she's got damage output for it, and gauge as well, and healing. Yeah, it's helpful. All right, ultimate battle versus Thornton with Marley, Datamine, and Giovanni. Okay, this one was a little bit tight. It requires some quad Qs, at least for the strategy I went with. I mean, there obviously could be better strategies, and the fucking end-all be-all of strategy here, thank God, or else we would all be doomed. But this one was honestly pretty fun. Datamine takes Thornton's gimmicks. Let's see. Thornton's gimmicks are needing rebuff, which Datamine provides, and split, special, and physical damage. Datamine provides the physical damage, and Marley provides the special damage pretty effectively at that once the team actually gets really ramped up. Go for the Giovanni trade move here to get the take next effect on his moves, or on, well, I guess the enemy's moves, because we don't really want them taking too much damage. I mean, they could, and it wouldn't be, I don't think it'd be that big of a deal. I think they could take in like an Icy Wind or something. I don't think it would have been that bad, but I went for the Giovanni abilities there anyway. We needed to go for a nice heal after this. We went for the stockpile. I kept getting flinched. I gridded this motherfucker with Unflappable. Marley is mostly just focusing on debuffing right now. Again, I hate that she needs... God, I hate that she needs special attack buffs only, well, she only gets special attack buffs after using her circle. I think that's just not good design, but it's whatever. Giovanni has to heal here in order to maintain his HP a little bit for the sync move, and then we go ahead and start buffing back our defenses. This is where Marley syncs. She got that sync countdown from her circle, and that's obviously allowing us to get to the sync move super quickly, and then now we can also chain that into a move here, a powerful buddy move. Pretty decent damage, nothing crazy. I did not have Critical Strike 2 on Marley. I accidentally kept the electric guard that I used versus Raikou. Oops. Pretty big fucking oops. Either way, that special move's next boosted buddy move is really strong with all those sync buffs applied that support the X and Y. Now it's pretty good stuff, honestly. So now, Thornton's about to use the sync move after we have already gotten in 2 sync moves? Yeah, pretty good. Now we're getting in our 3rd one here. The sync move hurts. It does. I think it's... Isn't Thornton's sync physical? I'm pretty damn sure it is. I'm pretty sure Thornton's sync is physical. I don't know. Whatever. Either way, Giovanni took it for all the damage, and now we are basically just dealing with them using trainer moves. And again, we got a pretty good nuke here out of Marley. Again, I think she's better when you try and focus on her actual damage, but you can definitely make good usage of her nuke and the nuking damage she provides, for sure. I think it could look pretty solid, especially given all the special moves next buff she's able to apply and all of that, you know, right? Obviously, her nuke looks pretty good, mostly due to Giovanni's buffs that he provides with his sync move up next every time he uses stockpile. So, I mean, the first sync nuke that we used with Marley was pretty much maxed, right? I mean, I think it had +10 sync move up next. It was pretty nuts. And then the next one that we went had probably like, I think 4 to 6, something like that. And, well, that was still really, really good. We go ahead, go for the circle here. If you, at least in my case, if I would have used the circle a turn earlier and then used the buddy move here, this would have KO'd the Steelix and would have actually screwed up the turns, because I actually tried it many times. It looks more fluid, you get more actions in, but the thing is that Giovanni, at least at 1 out of 5, cannot take Thornton's Blizzard plus double-edge combos here extremely well, especially because he has no more healing left. So KOing the Steelix means that it doesn't use Stealth Rock, meaning that it doesn't waste an action, and now we have to deal with Thornton having 2 actions instead of just the Blizzard here, which the team can take. And now, of course, Thornton is going to go for the Dire Hit Plus in order to act, or Dire Hit All Plus, whatever, to max out his crit, which we can handle. That is not a big deal for us. We have the Take All next sync effect here on Giovanni, so no matter what happens, we will have Giovanni taking the sync move, all the damage. So even if Giovanni goes down, we still have Datamine and Marley left to do the last chunks of damage. Datamine does have a good nuke here. This is his fully maxed out nuke. 164,000 damage, really good. Failed the quad Q. Quad Q would have 100% guaranteed us the victory there before the sync, but thankfully Giovanni's crunch guaranteed it anyway. So in this specific instance here, obviously Marley benefits a lot from Datamin's grass rebuff, but Datamine in turn also really benefits from the circle buffs that Marley is able to provide. That 20% extra sync damage off of having the circle applied is really helpful. And again, that team survivability as well, because of the circle being applied, was good for pretty much mostly Giovanni in order to help him take a lot of those attacks. So again, a unit that can definitely work on a pretty solid team composition, like especially again with Datamine, a character who has a lot of good abilities to go against other ultimate battles like weather setting and rebuff applying. Those are two big things, right? Also debuffing defense, like I can think of obviously Morgan, that's very helpful against. So there's definitely other stages as well. I mean, like these two work very, very well together, even despite Datamine being more physical leaning and Marley being more special leaning. So you can definitely make a good team comp if you do have them both together. But yeah, anyway, that is the showcase for Palentines Marley and Shaymin. Again, I was running Critical Strike on this character. Not Critical Strike, Electric Guard on this run. It would have been so much easier if I actually had Critical Strike. At least I think so. It might not have made that much of a difference. I'm actually not sure. Either way, whatever. Doesn't matter too much. Yeah, that's the showcase for Palentines Marley and Shaymin. Again, I think this is a good character. I think she does have flaws, mostly the fact that her grid is absolutely all over the place. You can't pick up everything she really wants, and it really does kind of suck. And also the fact that she only has 2 instances of circle, and the fact that her special attack buffs are actually tied to that circle. And I guess you could say it's an issue, but it's more of a minor issue to me, is that she doesn't have the effects off of her circle happen more than once, the sync countdown and the special attack buffs. I think if those were infinite, that would have been a very, very good thing for her. That sync countdown alone is pretty good, and she's a sprint. She should have that ability, but whatever. So I hope you all enjoyed. Go look on your summoning, go look at your skipping for the rest of the month, and yeah, peace.